What's going on, y'all? Sharp Reacts back with another video. And remember what I was telling you about that last video on the Not Like Us Explain? You see what we got here? We got the addiction that destroyed Drake's career. And I was trying to tell y'all, I was trying to talk to y'all. I saw, as soon as I saw the thumbnail and I saw those women in those photos, I knew it. I knew. Cause Drake has this thing with love and he wants that, but he can't have that, so he's got to do all this dogging. And women might be his downfall. It might be. Just like how some people have that P word addiction. Some people have drug addictions. Some people have addictions of, I have no God's clue of what an addiction could be. But you know, too much of anything too much of anything can hurt you. And this may be Drake's down. This may be what brings Drake down more than anything. Because when Kendrick said this is a long life battle with yourself, I think this is what his battle with himself is. His contradiction to what he paints this girl of what she's supposed to be versus how he moves. There aren't, you know what I mean? It's like night and day. So let's go and check this video out. It's a pretty it's what, 10 minutes?
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that, and that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and you're a girl, and you're a girl.
Yeah.
Because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been moving a lot close to the chest.
A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers.
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers. The athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
Yeah.
What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. He never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad
Not
about
the
this.
bus stop.
Since the beginning of his career, Drake's relationship with women has always been at the forefront of his music. Whether his songs were about going through a breakup, occasionally depicting himself as sensitive, or outright portraying himself as a simp, Drake seemed to genuinely admire women. But over time, things drastically changed, until the point he morphed into the self-proclaimed certified lover boy. From venting his feelings of loneliness to an ex on Marvin's Room, through to accusations of rampant misogyny on the 21 Savage assisted Her Loss, even Drizzy's claim that the only woman he loves is his mom on God's Plan was a drastic departure from when he was actively trying to settle down. But where the good guy image was once intact and helped skyrocket his career to the top, that's long gone now and replaced with the perception that, as Kendrick said, Drizzy doesn't even like women. In fact, he only values them when it comes to sexual gratification and as a way to have a one-up on his enemies. In short, there's now a belief that Drake has a serious sex addiction, which has basically created the predicament he finds himself in today.
He presents himself as like this smart, composed, thoughtful businessman, but your friends, girls, you're not them for them, by the way. There's tons of bad. You're not just doing it to get a nut. You're your man. That's what you're doing. It sounds crazy, but that's what it's about. I'm gonna do something that I know that I'm gonna have over you.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
Okay, yeah.
Currently operating in a state that may fill a void inside him while deviating from the image that first made him successful, Drake has made it clear that he's not a one-woman man at this point in his life, nor does he plan to change that. And while that makes him no different from many other superstars, the problem for the Sixth God is that there's a feeling of spite and self-sabotage to how he goes about it that has nearly destroyed his career several times over. So, let's break down the roots of this addiction and how it's been hiding in plain sight for a long time now. When you pattern yourself as a ladies' man, it's really no surprise that you might ruffle some feathers or act impulsively when things don't go your way. Just look at what happened in the aftermath of
the Ice Spice situation. I remember that.
Only to suddenly cut ties with her when it
unfollowed her like out of the blue, and she didn't even know it. Yeah, here it is.
That Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why though.
Shame on you, Drake. Shame on you. You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Drake's objectives with up-and-comers like Ice come into focus when you see how much he prides himself on being a bachelor. So, when he doesn't get his way, his superstardom allows him to move in a way without any consequences. And this behavior was further highlighted in an interview with Angie Martinez, where French Montana basically lifted the lid on how Drake operates.
That's weird behavior.
Drake is close, but you and Drake are friends.
Flash Bros.
Snipe Squad. You know, he gave me the Snipe Squad thing.
That's
10
weird,
rules.
bro. That's weird. I don't care.
Thou shalt not snipe a bro's ting. Thou shalt never pillow talk or discuss business with a ting on any import from the United States, Canada, or any.
Here's my thing too. This should go all across the board, bro. If you know, like, cause me personally, if I know my homeboy or if I know somebody's talking to someone. Like, I'm not just about to go out my way and I'm going to go talk to him. I'm going to go talk to her just because. Like, that's weird. That's just weird, bro. Now, granted, too, it's a two-way street. Those women be like, well, those women go and mess with them even though they know they have husbands. Like, they get, like, the little love bomb gaze of, oh, it's Drake. It's not, oh, it's my celebrity crush. I got to do, like, those faults still fall on women, too. But it's just the fact that it's so grimy that he goes out of his way to do that. Like, it's so grimy. And the fact that I think the woman he wants is the one that's like, that doesn't, well, first of all, he ain't got that. So he's trying to go after every single girl, like, hey, let me see how down your girl really is. Like, just on purpose. Like, not on like some like not even on some like, well, if she, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if somebody like chooses you and it's like, you didn't even know they had a husband or something like that. And that's different, right? Because it's like, well, I didn't even go out my way. Bro goes out his way. That's grimy. Sorry about that, y'all. Duty calls. Let's go back to it.
Region, thou shalt practice a maximum 3-day export rule to avoid frustration. You fly anybody in, give them 3 days so you can avoid frustration. Okay. 3 days maximum.
With Drake basically retaining the mindset of a man in his 20s, it explains why Drizzy also doesn't care whose toes he steps on.
Wait a minute.
Sniping someone
I
else.
just realized he had like commandments. And he's not even obeying the commandments. I just realized French Montana just said that.
Take for instance the story of Naomi Cher. Unlike Ice Spice, it's believed that she welcomed Drake's advances despite being in an 8-year relationship.
Oh,
to make
that's
matters worse. Drake had worked out with her then boyfriend just days before, only to later post an IG picture after the story broke, captioned
wild,
without remorse. Dirty.
That's
if trying something new opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
See, that's why I say it's a two-way street, bro. Because you can't just be in
beautiful, supportive, and faithful
in that with somebody. They gotta be in it too, like
and wedding plan. Her former fiance, Jamie Sun, said. Then this major opportunity comes, and a world star calls your fiance to sign a record deal. Flies you both over, and then out of nowhere, all the trust has vanished with knives in your back
good
and
for him.
in your
At least he ain't.
I am no longer with the person people think I'm together with. I am no longer with the 8 years I thought I was together.
At least that
someone like Jamie participating in the music industry at a lower level, Drake clearly had no concerns when it came to trampling over his life to get what he wanted. But even though he got away with just a bit of reputational damage that time, recently, it's become clear that Drake's promise to French Montana about never getting involved with someone else's girl was just talk. Because when you look back, Drake has a habit of bringing women into almost all of his beefs with other rappers.
Yes.
And in the view of one of his biggest supporters and academics, this is where Drake has been a habitual line crosser.
I keep asking people and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. All these guys, they share the same crop of girls. It's a thin line between like, yo, these are like the community chicks that we all and yo, you're doing certain to kind of like disrespect.
In Axe View, this has always been a key part of how Drake has operated. Long before it led Future to call him a fan on We Don't Trust You. Case in point, just look at why his decade-long feud with CB started.
Imagine how bold Drake was when Drake sends a bottle over there with a note that says, I'm the love of your life. That was supposedly the note. And right then, beef starts. So Drake is in the club, supposedly with Meek and some other people. And Chris Brown is there, and Drake sends a thing over to be like, I'm the love of your life.
Drake is a savage.
Yeah, you gotta keep the girl away from Drake.
Back when Drake and Chris had some bad blood over Rihanna, the whole thing likely made things awkward at parties, but didn't really spill out onto record or really even enter the public consciousness at the time. But that hasn't always been the case. And much like his dispute over Princess Diana with Future, it was his decision to mess with other people's girls that led his ghostwriter.
It always starts over a girl, bro. I hate this. I don't think that girl realized what she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she's like, oh, it's because of me. I'm the one that. Maybe she's taking credit. This a nasty game.
Writing scandal
it's a nasty work
in the first place. In turn, creating a narrative that's haunted him ever since.
That's how the whole thing started with even the reference tracks. DJ Drama says, bro, he didn't write that. The guy in my studio in Atlanta, he recorded it, and Drake just sang it over. Jeez. That's how that starts. So two guys who thought Drake, their chicks, basically created that moment.
But while all of these incidents could have been damaging
But they
to
were
his
still
career,
doing.
if you need to look at how far Drake will push
They
it
still
when it
been
comes to
with-
women, look no further than him betraying his very own mentor.
You know what? See, and some of them was looking at that and they was still working with him, but not know. But like, bro, you gotta realize if it's happening to them, it can happen to you too. My guy, come on, bro. Even I'm not stupid to look at that, bro. Like, that's why. You know what? When the Not Like Us is explained, like it was really a feud that was lasting over years because Kendrick saw it from the jump and was like, no, I'm not co-signing this. Like I gave you your first note, bro. That was like he was like, bro, I'm giving you number one. That's in 2012. Like I don't with you. Like I don't, bro, because your behavior is weird. You get other people to write your songs. Like he was like, that's why Kendrick's like you in the industry, because some people were like, enabling it. And Kendrick was like, bro, y'all don't see this? Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, crazy. But I get it, though. I get it. Even at sometimes I would, because I'm from the outside looking in. So I was like, at the time, I really don't know. But as the picture is starting to get a little more clear and clearer, you're starting to see it for what it is now. Like, yeah, it's grimy. It's grimy.
Tour when he was at his lowest. A story
It's
that
an
was brought to light in the
internal
bar of
battle.
Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. The allegations
And
that Drake found Wayne's girl when he was in
You
jail
don't mess-
have actually been around for a while.
You
And to
don't
Weezy's
mess with
credit, he's done his
your
best to shoot Drake some
mentors.
bail.
Girl.
Don't worry about that. That's just how life goes when you locked up. She still be texting me and stuff,
It'd be one
However,
thing if it's some
this is only
average
one side of
joke,
the
but
real
if
story
it's
that
the
never gets
dude that
reported,
you
because
was
as Weezy
you was
disclosed in
helping
his
out,
autobiography, this
guy-
actually took a real toll on him. As a man, he wrote, I woke up.
You brought him up and he did that to you. Jesus Christ, bro. That's Drake, you really is in a battle with yourself. Bro, Jesus, yo. That's nasty word, bro.
But still feeling messed up about
That's
the day that I had.
nasty.
Hell is what it was. I'm used to arguing with my girl on a daily basis, but finding out that
And
she
this
messed with
and a lot of this does start growing up. This is why I always tell people, like, when you're dating somebody or when you're talking to somebody, look at how they grew up, bro. If they grew up, their daddy was dogging, daddy doing this, or moms, they're not together, like they're still living with some resentment in that. You know what I mean? And you just don't know. Like, now granted, there's some people would be like, well, I've been through that and I know exactly what I don't want. But even then, sometimes not knowing what you don't want, you still don't know what you want, because you're living with such resentment. And man, I hate the fact that there's so many broken families in the world, bro. Because I sure ain't come from a broken family, but when you see that and they'll grow up to be like, well, I don't want to be like him, I don't want to be like him. And then they end up being the same, just like it. Or I don't want to be like her, and end up being just like her. You know what I mean? You really gotta. It's really one thing about it. You really have to look at. Talk is cool. Talk is great. I don't want to be like, but you really gotta dissect your own actions sometimes. You really do. Because if your actions is not reflective of what you're talking about, then it's just talk. It's just talk. Me, I don't even relate. If you meet me in public, I really don't like to talk like that. I mean, sometimes I'll just talk just to shoot. But like, at the end of the day, I know it's. At the end of the day, we all know it's just actions. Now, of course, we make mistakes sometimes, of course. But it's actions that come across everything. It's your actions. Not, you can, like I said, like, you could be a good player, speak a good game. But if you saying that, or if you're a girl, you're saying that I want marriage, but you still carrying yourself like a city girl, or if you a dude and you like, hey, like, these women ain't, you know what I'm saying, these women doing this, but your actions ain't showing that you're a liable husband, or your actions ain't showing that you're a liable wife, bro. You're not gonna get that, and after that, it's like, well, for somebody in Drake's position, I'm like, okay, you're famous, right? But there was somebody that you had with you before that was pretty much down for you. You probably was like, I need to go test the waters, and it didn't happen for you because you wanted your thing. But now everybody else is moving on and having families, and you don't have that. Now you're trying to figure out how to get that. You're trying to get that quickly, and it doesn't work like that. It takes time. It takes vetting people out organically. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take Birkenbacks. It takes somebody being down for you when you're at your worst. I don't think marriage really does start when you see two people at their worst, when they're broken. When two people are like broken, when they are financially, emotionally, in the relationship, they could be just broken. And they find out that, and through that brokenness, that chemistry just gets better. Oh, that's your full life right there. That's your full lifer. Cause everybody can be with you when things are good, but everybody ain't gonna be with you when things are bad. Even I had to learn that on my own. Like, me going through all the stuff I've had to go through. There's people that weren't with me when I was, you know what I'm saying? There was people that didn't help me when I was going through there was things I had really, as a man, sometimes I had to go through my own, because I knew you just know that everybody ain't gonna be. Now granted, you still gotta go through that on your own, but like, there's people that won't, that you know what I'm saying, that don't check up on you. There's some people that won't check up on you. You know what I mean? There's basically, what I'm saying is, when you're with somebody at their worst and you're at your worst, and you realize that being both of us at our worst, we're at our best together, then that's a happy home right there. That's a happy family. Not when things are great. Things are great you ain't got to talk about nothing. But when things are the worst, listen, that's where the real growth happens. That's why when I see all these, this is another rant. You know what? I'm a rant anyway. Screw it. But that's why I see when these women, like, I'm gonna get on both sides, but this is what I see when these women say they want these 6-figure guys. They want everything was good, but what about when things aren't good? What about, well, I don't want this guy that I want this guy to express his feelings. But what if he expresses his feelings? He's like, I'm not okay. And you're like, okay, well, whatever, do you? But ain't nobody gonna want to be with somebody that's not down with them when they're down. You know what I mean? Or they're going through a tough phase in their life. Don't nobody want to be with somebody like that, men or women. Like, why am I down and then all of a sudden you want to tear me down? Like, that doesn't make sense. Well, you make 100 figures, do it yourself. Like, come on, dog. No. Or same thing with guys. Like, I want a girl that's down for me, but you out here doing her dirty when she's at her worst. So it's like it works both ways.
Drake was the absolute worst thing I could have found out. Seemingly happy to backstab one of the people who had done the most for his career, this would point to the sheer depths of Drake's issues when it comes to his addiction. But as for how Drake's addiction manifested in the first place, there's a couple of theories, but both boil down to the same thing. It's his way of getting back at the tough times in his youth, or proving everyone wrong who doubted that a suburban Jewish kid from Toronto could make it big in hip-hop. And during an in-depth conversation on the Joe Budden podcast, they weighed in on how people's perceptions of him.
It's crazy how you can hide so much things with money,
and go after women,
but those problems still come about.
Let's have a real conversation about how talk about Drake behind the scenes and how
those
people in the
problems still
industry
come
talk
about. I
about
don't
Drake
care
and
how
how
much
they
money you make.
View Drake like he's a corny who grew up not getting no.
There's a lot more broke people who are content. There are a lot of rich people who are content, which is crazy to even think about.
This explains some of the recklessness in how Drake pursues women. Because for him, it's personal.
Because a lot of rich people be trying to mask stuff.
Bottom line is,
and I'm talking about people that grow up rich. I'm not talking about people that get out the
that have grown up a certain way, don't like that this moves in the fashion he moved because they never had a respect for him. You can say that a lot of
it can go
industry
both ways,
do that. A lot of in the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling,
Yeah.
do that, exchanging numbers.
19, 30, 40, 50,
Yeah, if you bring your girl around your friend and he being extra like that, and then yeah, you either gotta A, cut him off, or B, cut the girl off, or C, cut them both off.
While Joe Budden thinks that this is all about how he's been treated in the game and is now trying to get back, others feel it goes deeper than just rap. According to Nadeska and Ebro, it goes back to how
It's
he's
gonna
been
be
treated
hard
by
too,
the
but you
world
got
as a whole,
to.
not just the industry. Because when the world
It's
has
gonna
looked
hurt you
down on him
worse.
or made him a figure of sad boy memes, being the guy who could steal your girl in a moment's notice is his way of proving himself as the star he always saw himself as.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and you're a girl, and you're a girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot.
That's a whole nother
Due to social media and people listing all of the people, it was like a list of 40 people.
Like God, like okay, hold on, let me go back. But like girls or guys that grew up like that weren't that popular in school, or you know, you grew up as this blossom girl, like, or blossom, you know what I'm saying, this big time guy, and you can either go one or two ways. You either go, I blossom as this great person. Now let me go ahead and start it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to start good relationships with people, or two, or three, or no, not said three, two. You just start dogging people. Like you just start going around dogging. You know what I'm saying? Like because you trying to fill a void, or you trying to get back at people from high school. Like that's you grow up. You gotta grow up, cause then all of a sudden you start, you know, these people, and the next thing you know, kids pop up. Like, come on, dog. Like, what are we doing? And this is what broken home stuff. Cause people, let's just.
Drake either has problems or has had problems with the women, the men, the women have decided to be with. At a certain point, you start going, wait, it can't be everybody else, bro.
But above all, it's not just Drake's obvious over-reliance on sex that's the issue, nor even his ruthless backstabbing of his enemies. The real problem is how his behavior and personal circumstances have shaped a negative attitude towards women that threatens to be his downfall.
Yeah.
Because from Pusha T to Kendrick Lamar, every time that he's been forced to take an L in a battle is when he comes at someone's spouse or fiance. And in Pusha's view, this goes all the way back to the trials and tribulations of his youth.
Now I gotta dig deeper. What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. He never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Left without a strong role model, and instead, even a father who's still chasing girls himself to this day.
Yuck, I saw this.
Way, it explains why Drake thinks nothing of getting involved.
Yuck, bro. Then you were horrible. The nerve of you, Dennis. Come on, bro. This is what Dennis was like. Oh, yuck. Yuck. Sandra. Man, I don't even want to know what happened back in the day. Oh, no, bro. No. Oh, no, bro. It's just broken all around. This man, bro, you can't bro throwing a stone, not knowing this man has boulders behind him, bro, that can easily trample over him, and people were noticing it. Pusha T and Kendrick both knew that. Oh, no, bro. I just pray Adonis doesn't. I don't know, bro. Yuck.
With someone else's girl, nor discrediting someone else's wife.
And that's not even to say that this could possibly be my scenario, or in our lives, even this could possibly, but I have to be aware of it and aware of my actions, reflect what I want. So, even then, I try not to fault a man, because even then, you still have a chance to change those directions, but. You gotta be. You can't have you can't have yes people around you all the time. You can have support. There's a difference between a support group and a yes group. There's a support group, a yes group, of people that wants things for their own convenience in you. Because when things go bad, that's when they lift themselves up to make you look bad. And then there's just people that just hate you. There's no doubt about it. Now those two, these can be tricky, because these can come off as the same person. The people that support you, that be like, hey, because you got the people that'll be like, hey, you know you still my boy, but you know you made a mistake, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, you still my boy. Hey, we gotta fix this up, all right? And then there's the people that may look like, hey, you my boy, like, hey, my boy, but you made a mistake. And then they go back and then be like, oh yeah, he ain't this, he ain't that, and then come back at you and be like, yeah, you still my boy. Like, you know, that can be tricky because these can be in the same. This can be, you know what I'm saying? This can be in the same group, so you gotta be careful with those. Now there's the ones that just flat out. Now you got the ones that are straight up enable, right? Like, oh well, you did nothing wrong. Oh no, everything you do is right. I've had to tell people, be like, hey, whoa. Listen, there's something. If there's something that's going on wrong, there's got to be something that I can correct. Because you don't want to deal with enablers, and then two, you don't want to deal with grimy. This I ain't gonna lie, this one might be more worse than these in a way, because you can't see these. These, at least you know they're there, so it's different.
While for someone like Pusha, Kendrick, or even A$AP Rocky, who adopted the Drizzy beef after lines about his wife from For All the Dogs, this wouldn't be an option. In turn, creating the sense that Drake may have plenty of relationships with women, but doesn't ultimately respect them. Left embarrassed by his own actions, and with his peers now calling him out, Drake's gotten a serious wake-up call to change his ways. Because if he doesn't, this addiction might destroy his career, his legacy, and maybe even his life.
Oof.
And welcome back to this U.S. Open office.
And we all know
Miller just lobbed
people
a message way over Jones's head
that have had women and messing with them and have had things happen to them because of women or child support. So, you know, this was an interesting video, but I already told you. Y'all already knew. I knew this already. The love aspect of it. You know, you want somebody that's down, but at the same time, like, the actions don't show. And this was a crazy one. 16, yeah, that whole minor thing is a whole nother aspect. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the post notification bell when I post more videos, and I will see you guys later. Peace.